Hi there. So I'm going to take you through some of the main features of Mote. If you haven't heard of Mote, what we're interested in doing is helping teachers to type less and talk more. One of the major benefits of using voice notes with Mote is that teachers are finding that they're saving time, and it's really helping to connect with their students with an increased sense of personalization. Okay, so this is my Chrome browser here. You'll notice this is Google Classroom's quite familiar grading interface, their grading workflow. I've got the Mote extension installed, so it's up here at the top of my browser. And I can just check on its status just by tapping it once, just to see, and I can even see the latest version. If for whatever reason you think that you've installed Mote but you can't see it, I would recommend that you tap on the jigsaw piece just here and make sure that you are pinning it to your browser. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I might use Mote to leave a comment in line. So what I'm going to do is in this case, I'm going to click on my favorite basketball player, actually, Michael Jordan. So I've clicked on Michael Jordan there, and I'm now going to add a comment. So tapping on comment, and I get this really familiar pop-up box. If you've used Google, G Suite, Google Workspace for years, then you'll be very familiar with this. The main difference is what I see over here on the right-hand side. When I see the Mote icon as part of a comment and I tap on it, it's going to start to capture my voice straight away. We call them Motes, but you would just think of them as a voice note. So this is really great work, Michael. Really like how your presentation is developing. Okay, now that's going to actually just go straight back. Because I haven't turned transcription on yet, it's going to leave it as this. So I'm going to tap on comment. And that comment is now going to be visible to the student if they have the extension installed as a clickable card. At this point, it's worth saying, if a student does not have the extension installed, or if they're accessing their Google Classroom work or a Google Doc on a mobile device or a tablet of some sort, doesn't matter, they can still access the audio file. The feedback will just open up in a separate tab for them to listen to. Okay, so that's kind of phase number one. And you'll see that this card, when I click on it, it will just play back from this exact spot. So I've not got to go. I can pause it. I can rewind it. So super accessible. One of the main uses that we're seeing for Motes within Google's ecosystem is as a private comment. So what teachers would do when they're looking at their students' work is, again, just like normal, you tap over here, start to think about what you might put for a private comment. But this time, the comment that I'm going to leave is for the whole piece of work. So this is when you get the really nice feedback flow between student and teacher. Before I do this, I'm going to turn on transcription. Okay, so Mote's transcription uses Google's voice to text. So it's fairly reliable, but we have found that if you've got a microphone or you're in a quiet space, then the quality of transcription is better. Okay, so to make sure that I've got transcription turned on, I'm going to tap on the extension, go to settings, and I'm very simply just going to toggle enable voice transcription on. And one other thing which is important is to choose your transcription language. So I'm clearly from the UK, so I'm going to choose English UK, and that is now saved for me. This time when I leave my Mote, it's going to look exactly the same, but something a little bit different is going to happen at the end. Okay. Hi, Michael. This is great work. I'd really appreciate if you spent a few minutes looking over the feedback that I've left for you before our next class. Thank you. And what I'm going to do before I post it to the student, I'm going to tap on this purple pencil icon that's going to allow me to review and edit the transcript. I'll mute it as well. And you'll see, so what it's done is it's captured that voice note and it's put a transcription in here. And I think that's come out as a pretty good message. If, however, you would want to edit it, so for example, if I'd left like a longer voice note, with the unlimited version, you can leave up to 90 seconds, by the way. The free version allows up to 30. So I could just tap in here and I could put in, thank you very much. I'm going to save that, exit, and when I post this to my student, Michael, he would then have this come up for him. So that's like super useful. You may have noticed as well that if I've got a student in my class where English might not be their first language, what I can do is I can actually translate it into any other language. So I'm going to choose Spanish, And this time, when I save it and exit, you'll notice automatically that has now taken that transcription and it's translated it super quickly. In this case, it's into Spanish. Okay. One of the features that I find that I've used quite frequently within Google Classroom's workflow as it currently is to use what they call their comment bank. Now, Mote offers something very similar that's called the Mote book. So let's say, for example, that I'm working with a class of students and I find myself leading the same feedback in a few different instances. Rather than needing to repeat myself over and over, I can save it to the Mote book. And this is how I would do this. So I'm again going to stay in Michael Scott's work, but very, very quickly, I'm going to be switching over to his classmate, Dwight. Okay, so here we go. This time I'm going to tap on this picture of Vince Carter, and I'm going to go through the same process. So I'm going to choose comment. Okay, and I'm going to turn this. I'm going to turn the transcription off just to slightly speed things up here. Turn that back on in just a second, and I'm going to start to leave a note here. Okay. Please, could you make sure that you are checking your punctuation? Right. What an inspiring bit of feedback from my student there. I'm going to tap on the pencil, and I'm just going to mute that quickly and pause it, and I'm going to choose now save as. And what save as is going to do is it's going to allow me to name this particular mote, and it's going to save it to my Mote book. So here we go, save as, name, and I'm going to call this punctuation BCoT. Once I go to save, that has now, I get a little confirmation to say that has been saved to my Mote book. So I'm going to leave that as a comment for Michael. And I'm now going to jump into his classmate's work, Dwight. And if we assume that we are needing to leave the same comment for Dwight or the same voice note as I just left for his friend Michael, I could leave a comment in line, or I might choose to access the Mote book from private comment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to long hold on the Mote icon. That's going to open up my Mote book in the middle of my page. And I'm then going to find the particular entry that I'm interested in. In this case, it's the punctuation BCoT. And you'll see that once I tap on this, it's going to copy it. And now that's ready to go. And all I have to do is tap on post, and that's gone straight to my student. How does this look in Classroom? I'll show you very quickly. So I'm going to jump back to the assignment, and you'll see that these voice notes are also accessible within Google Classroom. So this is really useful if you want to, as a teacher, you want to see the notes that your students are leaving you, because with the extension, they can leave voice notes back, so I can access them here. But it allows students, before they jump into the work, to maybe get an idea of the kind of feedback that they're getting from their teachers. If as a student, if I were looking at this from a student perspective, you can also respond with one of two emojis to indicate whether you've understood the feedback and you're ready to crack on with it, or you can choose like a kind of puzzled looking emoji, which is just going to go send an alert to the teacher to say that they've listened to your feedback but might need a little bit more help. If you want more information on that, then we've got a video on our YouTube channel exactly for that. So I'm going to open up a Google Doc now, and I'm going to go back to my Mote extension, and I'm going to toggle something called STEM mode on. What STEM mode does is it listens to what I'm saying as a teacher. And if it picks up that I'm saying any sort of mathematical equation, it's going to take that and in the context of a bigger voice, of a bigger note, it's going to apply the mathematical notation. The easiest thing is for me to show you how this works. So I'll leave a very quick note here. Please could you go back and look at 8x squared minus 7 equals 0. I'm going to go to the transcript again. And because I've got STEM mode turned on, you'll notice that when I see the transcript, what it's done is it's now got this. So it's taken my equation, and I did speak nice and clearly for it. So it's actually picked that up. But if it would have struggled with the equation, it doesn't matter at all. I can tap where it has. In this case, it's picked up exactly as I wanted to, 8x squared minus 7 equals 0. But I can go back here to the scientific notation editor. Once I'm happy with it, as I definitely am here, I'm going to go to exit. And when I put the comment in, what's nice is you'll notice that it has the notation as part of this comment. Okay, I'm going to jump on now and show you something which is slightly underutilized in my opinion, but I find it really useful as a classroom teacher. This is your activity dashboard. So in the activity dashboard, I'll just tap refresh. You'll get to see those motes that I've just left. You get this really nice, effectively like a control panel. So I can see a list of all of my voice notes, see when they were created, and I can also look at things like their visibility. And if I wanted to, I could even choose to download a particular file as an MP3 to maybe use elsewhere. But this is really nice. So for example, if I go down here, you can see that this was left for Michael Scott. And I also get the context of it was in Google Classroom, and I get the activity. And if I want to, I can click on that. It's going to take me right back into the assignment. Okay, so that's basically covered the basis of Mote for feedback. And what I'm going to show you now is something that we were really excited to launch last week. And this was Mote for Google Slides. I'm a real advocate of Google Slides, not only as a kind of presentation tool, but I think there's so much potential. And with a few tweaks, you can use it as a real powerhouse of a tool. But one thing that's been an issue for a lot of us for quite a long time is that the workflow to insert an audio file isn't the smoothest. You had to save it somewhere, download it, upload it to Google Drive, and then you would have to sort of find it and bring it back in. Okay. With Mote for Google Slides, I haven't got to do any of that. We sort of do all the hard work for you in the background. So just because I don't like to have anything untitled, I'm just going to call this BCoT Demo. Do you know what I mean, Scott? I just get a funny feeling when I see an untitled copy of has the same effect on me. And I'm just going to put in here, so I'll put in Mote for Slides. Any eagle-eyed amongst us will have noticed that there is this Mote icon that now appears just above the slide deck. Okay, when you click on it, the first time that you use it, you might have to give permissions and you'll have to re-sign into Mote because it's actually going to be leveraging Google Drive. So when I tap on it, it'll bring this up for me now. This is a demonstration of Mote for Google Slides, a real game changer of a feature. And again, all I need to do is to tap on the Mote icon. I can play it to listen back, I can rewind it, or I can even delete it if I want to start again. And I'm pretty happy with how that was. So all I do now is insert. This process might take a few seconds, depending on how many users are actually accessing the same, but you'll see in the background that it says creating audio. And now I have this lovely purple speaker. On my slide deck, I can resize it. I can move it wherever I'd like. And automatically, the permissions are applied to this audio file. So you haven't got to worry about if you share this slide deck with anyone else, are they going to be able to see the file? That's all done for you as well. So if I were to share it with anyone else, either as an editor or as a viewer, or even as part of my school community in a presentation, so I'll just present it very quickly, this audio file will be accessible to anyone. They don't need the extension, it's just there for them. And you'll see that when I hover over and tap play, it's now playing back. You won't be able to hear that because of how I'm sharing, but that's probably a good thing that you don't get to hear two versions of my voice, but it is playing there for you.